Hi, Mark and Melody here with another episode of Healthy Living, where we teach you how to live a healthier life. And
Yes, we do.
good to be back.
Teach and we learn.
It's been a lot of work on the road, but we're back for some more recordings. So
Yes, we
I'm
are.
getting excited about it.
No, I know. He always does. I get so tickled at Mark in the kitchen. I just suck the energy right out of him into my body.
Yeah, I'm a dancer. I hope my coat's not dancing today.
Oh,
Sometimes,
it's not either.
you know, sometimes coats dance on camera. And
Sometimes they do.
Shirts
You know, that's why so many times I watch what color I wear and the print, because I'll never forget the time you and I were going to film something and we were talking about exercise, and so I put one of my shirts on that I normally wear with my pants, and he's like, "You can't wear that, it's dancing." I'm like, "Dancing?"
yeah, especially stripes and different things, you know. But of course, we don't have the techs that are watching from far. So if it's dancing, well, just dance along with it, because that's what we do. It gives you energy and exercise and things like
Sure
that.
does.
But
Hey, what are we talking about today?
oh, let me tell you, I've been looking around
It's
the
on your
news,
mind.
and you see what an absolute global problem that we're having out there with everything from health to global warming to, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know, these problems are global.
They are.
You know, it used to just be like the United States or China or Russia or, you know, but now it's kind of, or Europe even, but now it's like a global attention to different things.
Pandemic or epidemic.
Yeah. Well, just look at the health. Look at the health in society. You know, any country that adapts the Western diet of America is now becoming unhealthy.
They're actually the countries that used to be healthy because they had a very low meat diet.
Yeah.
Sometimes just a little fish, but mostly Mark, carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates. They had great grains and fruits and vegetables. They were very healthy. But those countries that have followed suit to the standard American diet, as we call it, the SAD diet, they're now as sick as we are. So their nations are just as sick.
And it's like all these fast food restaurants come in, and all these chain restaurants come in, and all these packaged goods and processed goods. And their health just goes right down the tubes, just like we are. You know, we used to be one of the healthiest countries on the planet, and now we're basically one of the unhealthiest countries on the planet.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, I should have wrote that down. But there was a country, was it China, Mark, or Japan, that kicked McDonald's and kicked some of the fast food restaurants out?
I don't know. They probably should.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh, they're smarter than we are. And I mean, I don't down any business, you know, but when it comes to this fast food that is totally ruining our children, you know, we have children now that they're saying statistically that will not outlive their parents.
Right. First generation. Will not outlive their parents.
Yeah. And they talk about global warming, and I was reading some studies the other day where a lot of these gases that they're talking about in our environment,
greenhouse gases, whatever you call them, from fuel emission.
Well, a lot of it is caused by the feces and the urine from the animals in the huge feedlots.
Sure.
They don't even know what to do with it,
Yeah.
and it's awful.
Yeah, that's actually like the number one. You actually get more greenhouse gases from farm animal feces than you do from automobiles.
From automobiles, but yet they do these emission controls, but what I don't understand is we have starving children and families throughout the world who have no food to eat. I mean, it's like nothing. And we're sending over, and when we send them food, Mark, from this country, what do we send? Do we send them packaged meat?
I don't know.
Rice.
Grain.
Our
leftovers.
Right.
If you're going on a government corporate level.
Normally it's like oats and rice is what they send over. If that rice can sustain life, then why do we need all the protein, the meat, and the dairy in this country when this is the very thing that we are sending these people who are starving? And I thought, you've got to be kidding. Do you know it takes far more food and water, grains, to feed animals for human consumption than it does to feed the world?
Well, here, I got some interesting facts for you here then. It takes 12,000 gallons of water to make 1 pound of steak.
12,000 gallons.
Right.
And we have a shortage of water in
And
this
it
country.
only takes 60 gallons of water to make a pound of potatoes. Now, there are a couple, some people say higher and lower, but that's the averages that I've seen. 12,000 gallons of water for 1 pound of steak, 60 gallons of water for a pound of potatoes.
Well, that's quite a contrast, even if there's variation there. But what I'm saying is I forget what, like 80% of the corn or oats that's grown in the United States is grown for animals to eat.
It depends.
So we can eat the animals.
Yeah, it depends what crop it is. I mean, I know corn is 50%.
Okay.
Soybeans is even higher. Most of the genetically modified foods
Go to the
is
animals.
what is used to feed the animals. Everybody's fearing genetically modified foods, and I understand that argument, of course.
Oh, sure.
But most of that genetically modified food is feeding the farm animals that you're eating. So if you want to get away from genetically modified foods, you better quit eating farm animals.
Oh, yes.
And here's the other point I wanted to mention too, because there are 9 billion cows on this planet.
9 billion cows.
There's only 7 billion people. If you quit feeding the 9 billion cows, which eat a lot more than humans do, you'd be able to feed the 7 billion people for free. Relatively for free. We're just feeding the wrong species. And there's enough land just in America alone to feed the entire planet. We are not using our resources intelligently. Probably because we're eating too much of this animal food, which is making us dumb and slowing us down because of all the oil and saturated fat and everything.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's hard to even think about that.
You know what else we could do?
What?
Maybe we can get the people from the EPA to start doing some emissions regulations on the cows. Maybe they could hook up an apparatus so that they don't have those greenhouse gases.
Okay.
Well, I mean.
On that one, I think we better go over
come on.
I think we better go to the.
Wouldn't that be practical? I mean, they're doing it to automobiles. Let's
if
expand their control over the.
Why don't we go into the kitchen and find something that we can feed you healthy with, and then we'll be right back here.
Amen.
Hi, welcome today to another segment with Mark and Melody in the kitchen, and I'm just standing here thinking, Mark, what have you got going on in this skillet? What do you do with?
I'm just doing some of the Butler soy curls.
Oh, that's one of my favorite products, and I'll tell you why. Butler is a non-GMO organic soybean, and it's not defatted. It's just 100% soybean.
And it's good.
And it's so versatile, Mark. This is meat substitute?
Right.
Okay.
Now this right here is what Butler recommends, is to give it a browning action. I did put a little bit of oil in there because you can see how I still got a few pieces to go, but you're getting that crispness to it.
Looks yummy.
Which really gives it that chicken effect. And all that is the Butler soy curls like this.
Right here. This is what it looks like whenever you've hydrated it, because it is a dried product. It's dehydrated.
Right.
And you can do anything with this. And I actually even put it in my food processor and make like a burger out of it as well.
And you can soak this overnight. We just put hot water on it or throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds or something like that. and you can knock it out extremely fast.
You know that turkey roll I do at Thanksgiving
Yeah,
time?
oh yeah, I've done that before.
Butler soy curls. So I mean, I've made hot dogs out of the Butler soy curls. So
Yeah.
it's very, very versatile. I love
Fajitas,
this
we're going to
product.
make some fajitas with this batch and
Oh, yeah.
do some
Yum.
things like that.
Love
But that's what
fajitas.
those look like.
Now, what have you got going on here, Mark?
That's the textured vegetable protein.
So this is your TVP, and this is the small chunks to replicate hamburger.
Different colors, different flavors. It comes in a dry,
Okay.
like this. You can just get the dry, add water to it,
And whatever
there you
seasoning?
go. Some
Okay.
people have a fear of textured vegetable protein, but there's really nothing wrong with it. It used to be made with hexan.
Really?
You know, there was a hexan chemical thing.
But
But
not
it's a
anymore.
perfectly good product there.
Not
You'll love
anymore.
it. So what else do we have over there?
Well, we have several products over here. This is these are items that have been frozen. This is something called Give Me Lean. Give Me
Okay.
Lean. I like this product. Tastes like sausage, and some of it they have like burger. It's a quick go-to. It's usually in the refrigerated department
Sure,
where they
sure.
have the health foods. Also,
And that's what I'm going to use for pizzas. I'm
oh,
going to
yeah,
do the
that's your burger.
crumples and make
That's
it
your
as
burger.
a pizza.
Yeah, I see people doing
okay.
that a lot of times. This is a Prosage by Worthington Foods. This is another frozen. This is a sausage. But the thing about it is you can slice this, make sausage out of it,
Sure.
and then crumble it up, Mark, and use
Okay.
it like if you do sausage and gravy.
So this is a textured vegetable protein product.
Both of these
Which
are soy
is,
protein.
just like this, it's
Right
just
here.
made in a different way. Okay.
And then they just do the seasonings this way. I have not seen this one before. This is one that Mark had in his refrigerator. This is GMO, soy, and gluten-free.
Right.
So this is a product that I think would be awesome.
Pea
they use
protein, yeah,
protein.
pea protein.
Yes, and I've seen a lot of that lately, even like in your Vegenaise and some products where they know people are allergic to soy and they're trying to compensate and give something to people with allergies.
Of course, the Boca burgers.
I love Boca burgers. They've got a vegan Boca burger because there are some that are vegetarian that have animal protein in it. That's a good product.
Soy protein concentrate. The one you want to stay away from is the soy protein isolate. There's nothing wrong with soy. Soy is one of the most healthy
it's so
foods you
good
could ever
for you,
eat.
yes.
But it's the soy protein isolate, that has the same IGF-1 factor as meat, which would be insulin growth factor, IGF-1 factor as meats. But this one doesn't have the soy protein
This
isolate
is a
in it.
steaklet. Of course, this is also a textured vegetable protein product here. I mean, this has been out
Right.
on the market since my kids were babies, and I'm not going to tell
Yeah,
you how long
yeah.
ago that was. But those are some frozen products, and there's a lot out there. We're just giving you a
Right.
little bit of what we have, and I mean, you start looking out in the frozen department of the stores, and even in Kroger, Walmart, you start to see these products there, Mark.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't do a lot of these.
Right.
I don't think you do hardly any of them.
I don't do any of them.
Because we're sticking to the whole natural foods that
We
are
are.
not processed. But we wanted to show you some options because we know you're living in a busy lifestyle. I mean, people live busy lives. And these might be some healthier options than the
They are. They
the
are.
meats and things like that.
Especially the moms on the run with the kids.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. I want you to be as healthy as possible. And there are some products that, even for some people, they're like a jump across the pond. You can use them until you can get to that level to where you don't need them anymore. For some
Yeah,
of
exactly.
them. Here's some other products, Mark. Now, I know this is
I love
something
these.
you use a lot. What is this called?
Well, I think Campion is the brand.
Okay. And this is sold in Asian markets?
Yeah, these are
Okay.
from Asian food stores. And I like these because they don't have all the chemicals in them like a lot of the foods do. There's hardly any chemicals in here. It's a salt base.
Okay.
Now this is the duck one. This is the, is this the duck? Yeah, roasted duck. And let me pull a couple of these out and show you what this looks like. Can you see that? I mean, it actually has the texture just like the skin on a duck and
on
everything.
a duck. Wow.
And it's really good. Even cold.
You can eat it for me.
It's so good.
You know, I never did find anything appealing about meat, folks. It was fruits and vegetables and greens that appealed to me. So you've got those two products there.
Yeah, and the price is right. You can get these for a fraction of the cost
And
of
that's
some of
key.
these other canned
That's key.
items. Right.
Right. And here we have a meatless chicken patty. Also your diced chick. I used to make a great tetrazzini, chicken tetrazzini with this.
Yeah.
But now I use other things that I like. Butler soy curls for me.
Yeah.
I just
and
keep
look at
going.
these. And see, these are all ready to go. Take a look. I'll put some right here.
And they're just like tofu, Mark. They take on the flavor of anything you give them.
Now, I did put a little oil in here when I did this one because I wanted that real browning action, but you can do that without the oil too.
You can.
But look at the texture here. It looks just like meat.
It does. Look at chicken. It reminds me of
Right,
chicken.
exactly.
The way it is.
So that's a great product there.
Now, this is something that you use. And I was shocked. What was it that you made on a segment, Mark, with this jackfruit?
Barbecue jackfruit.
I'm telling you what, folks, I felt like I was eating a piece of, I don't eat pork, but to me, I'm thinking, Mark, are you sure this just tasted what I would think the texture of pork would have?
Yeah, she was afraid to eat it. She really was.
I was, but it was delicious. This had a great flavor because it too takes on the flavor of anything you give it. Now we come to some of our proteins, like your garbanzos. Here you have your black-eyed peas and your black beans, and these are great substitutes for meats. I use them in spreads.
Chickpea salads.
Oh yes, chickpeas and black beans are my favorite.
But these are, what we're showing you here is all meat substitutes.
All meat substitutes, high in protein, low in fat. And that's key. We want a low-fat, high protein with lots of carbohydrates, Mark. We watched a film last night in a series that we're doing, and it's, folks.
Get the healthy carbs.
Yeah, healthy carbs. This is something that is Melody's favorite here. I love tempeh. Tempeh, and I like this brand. And folks, when I'm on the road traveling, I have people tell me all the time, "What do you eat? What do you eat?" I get tempeh and mustard, and I could just sit and eat tempeh with mustard on it. Isn't that gross? For most people, they wouldn't like that. But I love this. And what they're seeing here is the black rice.
It's got a double wrap on it.
They all do, yeah. Or at least this brand does.
Yeah.
And this is the soybean as it's whole before it goes into more processing into tofu.
See, I'm thinking if you did it like that, it would make for very good fajitas.
Oh, we're going to do that, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's going in our fajita segment. See, I just love this.
For you?
I think it's great.
Wow.
And Mark, don't be afraid of these. Try this.
I like doing them with barbecue.
It has a real crunchy texture.
Texture's perfect, but it's plain.
It's plain, but I love it. I love the plain taste. Mark says, you always put flavor in your food, but I really don't eat salt and things like that anymore. There's your tofu.
Of course.
Which,
hey, non-GMO verified. Look at that.
Love that. Love that. House brand is really good for that. Here is one of my favorite meat substitutes, and that's portobello's.
Yeah. And when you cook these down, it's really going to give it that meat substitute.
And when you eat it, it actually has that texture of where you have to chew like you would a piece of meat. And I love the portobello's. Look at the fanning here. Folks, when you get these out of the container, don't go putting them underneath a sink and start washing them off and scrub them. They're very delicate. They're clean. I just slice them up and use them for cooking.
Yeah, and you could dice them. You can use those for burger,
chili,
spaghetti sauces. That works really good.
Oh yeah, it does. It's good as a meat substitute in spaghetti sauce. It's great in chilies. It's great in burgers. I mean, this is a great. I can't say enough about portobello's. And
of course, our black beans.
Our black beans. I love black beans. I just think they are also very
So you can get the canned ones that have some sodium in it, which only 4%, so that's not bad.
But you know something that we do, and Mark is great about this because he's the most organized man I've ever seen in the kitchen. And I hate to tell you this, but we do sabotage your freezer.
I know you do, yeah.
Well, we do, because he gets everything in there just so perfect, and it's like, this is too perfect. We've got to mess it up a little bit before he gets home. But we'll make great big, huge gallon and 2-gallon batches and freeze them. So all we have to do is take them out, thaw them, and they're ready to go.
Yeah, because I'd rather do that than this.
Well, what's the cost here?
1/3. I think it's about 1/3.
And there is no absolute reason at all for somebody to say, I can't afford to eat healthy. It's too expensive. Folks, you can't afford not to.
Yeah. Well, and there you go. This is a lot of different options, and this is just a fraction.
Just a fraction.
Of the meat options, substitutes that are out there on the market. And you'll find a lot more, and most of them are less expensive than meats. I mean, these are
Sure.
less expensive. The soy curls are less expensive.
Oh.
Beans are less expensive. Some of these are going to run about the same price.
As your meats.
But if you go with the fresh options, you'll save a lot of money.
Well, and something else, when you're cooking something like this, and I'm not advertising for you to do that, but if this is your option, you're not going to take a pound of hamburger and come out with a quarter pound of hamburger. What you start
True.
with is what you get, because it doesn't have the shrinkage like your meat does because
Yeah.
of the fat.
So there you go.
There you go. Hopefully, we've educated you a little bit, or maybe help you to make other choices of what to use in replacement of.
Exactly. Make better choices.
Better choices.
On a daily basis. Take those steps. And I guarantee you, if you start taking those steps, eventually you're going to get to the end of that tunnel. You're going to feel healthier. You're going to look healthier, and you're going to be healthier.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, combined, I don't know what your cholesterol was.
263 on record.
Okay.
Probably well over 300.
I know mine was over 200. I don't think it was in the high 200s. I think it was in the lower. But my last cholesterol I had checked was 128. And I know yours was quite low as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that it makes a whole difference. It really does, folks. So, hopefully, you'll go home and try this in your kitchen.
And we've got tons of recipes using a lot of these
We do.
products. So
We do.
there you go. And we'll see you next time. Hi, Mark Anthony here for another one of my favorite segments, the Doctor of the Day. And today we've got a very unique doctor, and that's James Marcum. James Marcum. And let me tell you, we're going to go to his website, and I want to share with you, his website is heartwiseministries.org, HeartWiseministries, heartwiseministries.org. And I want to share with you, that's kind of an interesting element that it's ministries when it comes to medical. And that's why I said, you know, every doctor has a little uniqueness to them, even though they're all promoters of a plant-strong lifestyle. They all know the intelligent part of living a healthier life. But Heartwise Ministries, Dr. Marcum. And let's just go to his website here and you can see what I'm talking about. Of course, we've got Heartwise Ministries, nice little flashes going across the screen. There's about, media, resources, blogs, donate, and contact. I mean, this is a ministry for this man. In fact, down below here, look what it says. Ask the Doctor, television, radio. He does the television and radio programs. And then prayer. One of his top 4 right there is prayer. And I think that is just very admirable to find a doctor who understands the healing power of prayer. And that is something you don't find too much in today's society. So, but let me share with you a couple things here. And I think I'm going to go to media and let's go to his books because we want to show you his books. This is the thing I really want to share with you here. His books, you're going to see the uniqueness of this doctor. It comes out in his books. This book, Medicines That Kill, James L. Marcum, M-A-R-C-U-M, Medicines That Kill. And so he's really got into the problems with prescription drugs. The Ultimate Prescription, this is another one of his books, The Ultimate Prescription. So you can take a look at that book. But I think it's real interesting that he's showing you some of the problems with the prescription drugs. So he's really attacking the, for lack of a better word, the entire industry of doctors and prescribing drugs. And because most doctors go to school to learn how to prescribe drugs. That's what they go to school for. The schools are designed by pharmaceutical companies. They're the ones that are funding the pharmaceutical companies, you know, the schools. That's where a lot of funding comes from, you know, but that's the job. Doctors go to school to learn how to prescribe drugs. And so there's a big problem with that in our society today. So, and of course, they've got some videos and everything here too as well. So anyway, I just thought I'd share this one with you. This is a really good doctor that he knows his stuff, and he's looking at the pharmaceutical side. So make sure you check out his books. Go to that wiseministries.org and see what you can find there. But that's my job, is to get you the intelligent information you need, filter through all this garbage that's out there on the website, and come to the real truth that has the real information that you need to have to live a healthier life. So Mark Anthony, we'll see you next time. Hey, Mark Anthony here to show you one of my most popular recipes, which is my Southwest vegan cutlets. And this thing, I mean, let me tell you, I have done this at cooking shows all over the country. I've probably done these in every single state in the country because I know I've been there. And it has just got raving, most popular reviews. And it's so fun to do, easy to do. Let me show you. By the way, you like my lid? This is what I use for a lid. And which that's what we do in a lot of commercial kitchens. We just grab a pan, put it on the for the lid. So I've got some boiling water here. We're gonna kick it up with little Bragg's liquid aminos. You can use soy sauce, you can use A1 steak sauce, whatever kind of flavoring you want to get in here. Garlic works really good. In fact, if you get some garlic here, I've got some garlic, sliced garlic right here. We can just put some dried sliced garlic and that'll give it a really good flavor. So whatever you want to put in there, you are good to go. Then we're going to have to get to making our gluten combination for the actual cutlets. Oh, this is such a tough recipe. I don't know if I can handle it. Let me show you. Equal parts. Vital, wheat, gluten, flour, and water. Equal parts. And here's what you're going to do. You just got to remember that you want to mix this really fast and get it incorporated. Because if you don't turn it really quick, you're going to end up having all these clumps in it. So you want to really give it a fast stirring. Don't stop until it's good to go. Okay? And you can see, look at how fast it's actually coming together. It takes very little time. Still a little wet moisture there, but we're going to just keep mixing this up. And that easy, you have gluten. And you know, gluten, in case you don't know, gluten is the protein part of the wheat. And people that don't know anything about gluten, that are going gluten-free, there's so many people, oh yeah, I learned all about gluten on Facebook. You know, and I'm telling you, if the only thing you know about gluten is what you know from Facebook, you don't know anything about gluten. And but just like that, look at that, we've got our gluten ready to go. We've got our protein part of the wheat. Then we're going to roll this out just like this, and you just want to make a log with it. And then you're going to let that baby rest. And it's going to have to rest for about 10 minutes. Now this one's already been resting, 10-15 minutes, it's already been resting. Then we're going to take our boiling water here, and we're going to cut off slices. We're going to cut off slices of this baby and put her right in the boiling water. Ba-boom, ba-boom, just like that. And my pan's ready to go, so we're just going to keep putting in those slices. All right, let me turn that up just a little bit. So this is going to boil for about 20 minutes. See that? Just little 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch slices. You can make them thinner or thicker. It's not exactly a precise science on this one, but you'll see it's pretty consistent, especially after you've done it a couple times. So we'll get that baby boiling back here, because I want to show you one that I've already got done here. And you can see how these are pretty thick. What they're going to do is they're going to puff up. And so you definitely got to watch this pan, especially during about the first 5 minutes, because a lot of times it'll just, especially if you have a lot of gluten in that pan, it's going to just boil over. But then once it does that, it's going to settle down. And then these babies just get tighter and tighter. And the longer you cook it, the tighter it's going to get. So there's a good concept to that as well. And but I've got some ready to go right here. Right here. So after it comes out of the water, in about 20 minutes, you're going to just run some cold water over it and just press out the water here. I've still got a little too much water in here. You want to press out all the water that you can, so that what you have left is these cutlets, just like that. Now, we need some breading. Breading is so easy to do. These right here, I have panko breadcrumbs. You can use seasoned breadcrumbs. A lot of times, take a look at the labels of those breadcrumbs though, because they're actually animal products and whey and so many things in a lot of those seasoned breadcrumbs. So the panko is usually the one that's pure. So a little salt. Of course, you can do some basil. Here's some thyme, oregano. So many different things you've got here. And parsley. However you want to do some Italian seasoning, you're good to go. In fact, you could really, I mean, the Italian seasoning works really good too. But let me get this baby going here. Hope this isn't too hot. How are we doing on that? Looks pretty good. Okay. Put our breading right here. And you notice I'm not adding anything to it. I'm not adding any different elements to this. No three-step milk breading type of thing. You just don't need to do that with this one. And so put those babies in there. And give this baby a saute on both sides. So we flip them over, let them cook a little bit. See how they're already browned on the other side? That's what you're looking for, nice and brown on both sides. And boom, they're good to go. And you can even get them crispier than this if you want. But that's the simple way to make Southwest vegan cutlets. And let me tell you, your guests are gonna love these things. They're great to throw in the fridge. You can reheat them later on, make sandwiches out of them, do them with mashed potatoes and gravy, that type of thing. Just so many different applications for it, but it's a healthy, high protein item that you can incorporate into your healthy lifestyle every day. So there you go, Southwest Vegan Cutlets, one of my most popular recipes, and we will see you next time in the kitchen. Hi, Mark Anthony here, and just doing my homework. I had something I wanted to share with you though, because you know I go around the country and I run into a lot of people, and I just wanted to share with you a little testimony of something that happened to me a while back. And I was at this church, and this lady came up to me who was excessively overweight. She had lost a few pounds already, but she kind of came to a blocker where she could not lose any more weight. And she's 150 pounds overweight, and she was just so upset and so terrified that she could not lose any more weight. And she's like, I tried and tried and tried, and I just can't lose any more weight. And you know, it's just so embarrassing. And I told her, I said, you know what? You're not going to lose any more weight. And she just looked at me with these eyes of just absolute, you know, end of her life type of look. And I said, you want to know why you're not going to lose any more weight? And she looks at me, and I said, because you're more concerned about what all these other people think of you than you are about what Christ thinks of you. And she looks at me, and I said, do you understand that Jesus loves you just the way you are? And she says, yeah. And I said, then why are you judging your success by what other people are judging about you? I said, here's your problem. I said, you are so worried and stressed about what all these other people think about you that your cortisol levels are so high that you're never ever going to lose any more weight. And I said, when you come to the realization that Jesus loves you just the way you are, and it doesn't matter what all these other people think in society, then you're going to have peace. Then you're going to have comfort. You're going to have rest. And that is going to drop your cortisol levels so you can lose the weight. That's the point you're at. That's the point you are. You know, and she looked at, and I'm telling you what, she has lost a lot of weight. She's in a church not too far away from me, and she's finally been able to overcome that final hump of being stuck there. And now she's getting happy. She's getting joy. She's getting confidence. She sees more success, and everything builds the cortisol. You know, when you have those high cortisol levels, you're not going to lose weight. It's just that way, you know, so you have to find peace. You have to find peace with yourself, and the only way you can find that is when you have peace with God. So that's the way you lose weight. So Mark Anthony here. We'll see you next time.
Good morning and welcome to our show today with Chef Mark Anthony and of course myself, Melody Prettyman. And I'm in his studio, so I'll pretend like it's mine today.
It's all yours.
It's all mine. Well, I think he does a much better job, but nothing more I love to do than to be in the kitchen, and especially with Chef.
I have fun. You have fun. We have fun together. We just usually we're just playing around. We actually have to stop and quit laughing in order to get our composure to do another set. So that's,
but you know, cooking is such an enjoyment to me. We eat with our eyes, and I love all the bright colors. And you know, when I see ads in the newspaper of the specials of the week, and I see the meat and I see brown, I'm thinking, how does people eat that?
yeah.
How do they eat that stuff? It's brown food. I want colorful food, rainbow food.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what are you doing for us today?
Today we are making a cheesy broccoli dip.
Sounds very cheesy.
It is. I'm going to turn this up a little bit because we're going to saute a little bit on our...
But cheesy is good.
Cheesy is really good. And we just did that in a few segments ago, didn't we, Mark?
Yes.
We made some cheesy sauce.
So you can always click to the YouTube of cheesy sauce. I think it was called fat-free, oil-free, fat.
Yeah, no fat.
No fat.
Fat-free
Cheesy sauce.
cheesy sauce. And they can find that on my website.
Yep. Yeah, we've got all the links available. High tech here.
High tech. I put in some diced celery that I had and some of the, I want to save a little bit of that on the end, the green onions.
Okay.
You could use red onions. You can use whatever you want, but this recipe is really, really a good tasting recipe. Turn this up a little bit more. And what we're going to do is we're just going to saute this just a little bit. Now, I did do a light saute steaming on the broccoli. So all we want to do is just get these vegetables a little bit, you know, with some heat on them. Now this is looking really good right here. I don't want it too much. This is the kind of recipe that you can serve right off the stove hot, put it in a bowl, or yummy, yummy all grain bread bowls.
I got some here. Look at that.
I know you do.
These are real easy to do. All you have to do is you know, cut a hole, hollow them out, and what I like to do commercially, what we would do is we would do these by the batches and make sure they dry overnight, because the last thing you want to do is put a soup into one of these that's not hard, and the liquid will just go right through it. So as long, or you can put it in the oven for, you know, a few minutes and
just to dry the inside.
Dry it out so that the juices aren't going to leak through there.
Oh, isn't that pretty?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I want a little onion powder with it. So we're going to add a little onion powder.
Yeah, you didn't have any onions in there, did you?
No, I didn't. And, well, I did.
green.
I did have the green. But
green.
normally I'm the onion queen. You know how I am with onions. And a lot of the reason for that is I normally don't use salt. Very, very, very little salt in my recipes.
As you're holding the salt container.
The salt, because I know Mark's going to want. So guess what Melody's going to do? She's just going to put a pinch.
Well, the nice part about this one is there is some salt in the cheese sauce, so and that's what's going to give you your flavor.
Yes, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab some of that cheese sauce.
I'm just sitting here standing around. I'm on Easy Street today.
Oh, Mark, you could just go rest. This is your day off.
That's nothing like when we're doing camp meetings and we're doing big events. I mean, we're both going 100 miles an hour, 16 hours a day. So
I was just on the phone earlier with somebody. Mark and I was talking, and I was telling the gentleman I bought a Fitbit. And I've been using it because I want to be more conscious of how many steps I'm taking in a day. And I had hurt my knee when I was down in Florida a little bit, and he said, well, you need to stay off your knee. And I'm like, well, I'm only walking like 14,000 steps a day. And he said, well, that's more than most people do in Tennessee. The average is 400.
ouch.
Yeah. He said that told him to walk at least 14,000.
4,000.
4,000. Sorry. And The most I've done in a day so far is 25,000, whatever it was. It was 10.8 miles in a day.
Amazing.
What do you think of that, Mark?
I think it looks great. To me, that's just a nice bodied for a chip or like you said, for a soup. To me, that's more soup oriented.
Love, love, love this. Okay, so we're going to pour some in this little.
Yeah, you might want to spoon that in there. In fact.
I am. You know what? I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to let you spoon.
Kids, don't try this at home. Wait. Ah!
Oh, I'm getting it everywhere. I'm allowed to do that. It's my recipe. Beautiful.
And I want to get a few more in here just to really fill this baby up. Because I like to have it stuffed. To me, that's the concept if you're going to do something like
You got
this,
it?
is to have it stuffed. There you go.
Pouring it in that dish.
Okay, you can do that. You'll be able to do that one. Just like that. Wow.
I am.
I know, I clean up just because, you know, camera shots and...
My name in the kitchen is Tornado Melody. But I always clean up my mess, don't I, Mark? I just make a big mess.
Yes.
I really do.
Well,
I have one light aside.
And that's the way kitchens are. And I've told people this time and time again. We want to show you the real way it is in the kitchen. With these places and some of these chefs on TV, they will edit.
Everything looks so perfect.
Every little thing they're going to edit. They come in with vacuum cleaners in between each clip. In between, boom, boom, clip, vacuum, clip, vacuum. And I'm sure the people are standing there, can I move now? You know, and it's crazy because that's not the way a real kitchen is.
It's not. Actually, I'm going to tell on Mark earlier. He said, I've got to get this floor cleaned up before Brenda gets home. And that's the way it is at home. When I cook in the kitchen, I have to wipe down the floor, the countertops, everything, because you know, it's a mess.
And we start at the top and work our way down. There's no point in cleaning the floor and then cleaning your countertop. So you start at the top and work your way down. But I got to try this.
Try it, see what you think of it. Now it's going to tighten up too.
Okay.
You could put this in the oven, you could bake it a little longer if you want to, but I still like more of a crunchy vegetable. It is crunchy, I hear you crunch it.
That's the chip.
Oh, is it?
It's really not that crunchy.
It's not? It's
Firm.
really good.
I think this would be fabulous. And then, anybody's ever had these bread bowls? You eat it out a little bit and then you just cut through the bread bowl and eat the bread and everything.
All right.
This one here, I'm also thinking you could run this cold.
You can. It'll tighten up.
Surround it with chips and things as a dipping. Because people are going to be like, wow, now that's something different to dip into.
A healthy chip.
That's very original and healthy.
And you know something you could do if you make a large batch of this, you could put some in the refrigerator. If you have some leftover brown rice, you can incorporate that and make a nice casserole out of it too.
Freeze it?
Freeze it, why not? You know, don't work yourself to death in the kitchen. We just like to work in the kitchen. But you can let your food work for you, so use it for many different dishes.
Yeah, and people think, you know, that our kitchen's a mess. It's not. Our kitchens are the most organized kitchens you would ever imagine, as you can see from a lot of the videos that we do. I mean, very organized.
You have to. You know, my countertops at home are not for displaying items in my home. They are to cook with, you know, so I use it to prep and to cook. So I have a really clean, organized kitchen as well.
Give yourself room to work. So anyway, that easy. We will post these on our websites and on the YouTube channels and everything like that. Make sure you share these with your friends. Hit those like buttons, hit those subscribe buttons. That's what we want to do, is build up that base of following people following this health message, because our passion is to help you get healthy. You know, so you don't ever have to go to the doctor. You don't have to take all these vitamins. You don't have to take all these meds from these pharmaceutical companies. You're going to get your meds and your drugs and your nutrition right in the healthy food that you're eating.
Food is our nutrition.
That is what we're passionate about, is helping you get healthy. So Mark Anthony with Melody Prettyman here, and we just love to see you continue watching these things and help get healthy together. We'll see you next time in the kitchen.
Bye.
Just a reminder, the books are available on my website at chefmarkanthony.com. We've got my Vegan Simplicity book right here, which is available. We also have Simply Yummy, Melody Prettyman's really good cookbook. I have that available on the website. Of course, the Simply Incredible. This is a 400-page full color cookbook. And I mean, let me tell you, this baby is just gorgeous and gives you a lot of concepts about how to cook. So once you learn the concept, then you could run with a lot of different recipes. Plus, our newest addition is the Baby Steps to an Amazingly Healthier You. And this just came out this year. It's a brand new DVD, 12 parts. Look at this. This has actually 4 DVDs inside. It's a 12-part DVD and gives you a lot of really good insight about how to take baby steps to get healthy. Plus, you get a lot of good cooking segments in there too. So, Mark Anthony, we'll see you next time. Hey, Mark Anthony here to show you one of my most popular recipes, which is actually called a steak bake. And today, these are so easy to do. Let me show you. I don't know if any of you have ever used this Better Than Bouillon. This is just a no beef base. There's no beef in it whatsoever, but it has a remarkable beef flavor. And we are actually just going to make a stock. I guess just a beef stock is what you're doing. And so just a little bit of that bouillon and water should do the trick right there. Yeah, and in just a couple seconds, you've got that completely dissolved in the water, just like that. So we're going to use this in just a minute here. But here's my ingredients. You've got your bouillon. This right here is a mirepoix blend, which basically it's carrots, onions, and bell peppers. And I used red and yellow bell peppers today. Carrots, onions, bell peppers, just ran it in the blender until it was smooth. And then I've got a couple flours here. I've got Vital wheat gluten flour, VITAL, wheat gluten flour, and this is a brown rice flour. So you just take 4 cups of the Vital wheat gluten flour and about a cup of rice flour. And you gotta have that rice flour in there or you won't get the moisture in it. And we wanna make sure we've got moisture in it. So that's one of the big elements to making this moist. So we're gonna give this just a little mixture because I don't want all of the flour getting separate. I need it kind of incorporated here a little bit. And then we're gonna add our beef stock, beefless stock is what it is now. And we're gonna add all of the mirepoix blend. Some mirepoix blends will actually have celery in them, and which you can do that too. Today I just did the onions, carrots. We're just gonna give this a quick blend here. And it's pretty easy. This, I'm telling you, this is one of the easiest recipes you're ever gonna find when it comes to a steak meat substitute. And after you've done this once or twice, you'll know exactly how to do it. This one's pretty recipe driven, just because I know what I need to do with it. But you'll take a look at it and say, I need to add a little more water to it, or I need to do a little bit of this to it. And right now, I'm gonna just add a little more water to it. I just know that I need to add a little more water to it. And then you can take any pan, give a little spray if you've got sticking problems there. And then this right here, after it's been well incorporated, and we're gonna, but I'll tell you what, looks like we're missing something, doesn't it? That does not look like meat, does it? I've got my secret ingredient here, and that is a little bit of caramel food coloring. And we can just put about a tablespoon in there, and we are gonna change the color of this to a dark black and brown color. Now it's starting to look more like meat. Does that look a little better for you? You could actually put the caramel coloring in right with the water mixture and everything if you want. Doesn't have to go in later like I did. Okay, but the thing I want to show you is that you're getting multiple colors. See how you're getting different colors? And meat has different colors. And that's why sometimes I like to really get that authenticating look by mixing that ahead of time. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna take a couple logs here. I'll do 2 logs. That sounds pretty good to me. And we're just gonna tighten this up, tighten it up, almost like filet mignons. Yes, I used to cook a lot of meat when I was an executive chef in Vegas. Oh yes, we cooked the steak, we cooked the lobster, we cooked all the unhealthy foods you could ever imagine. Of course, now I just cook all the healthy foods you could ever imagine. All right, and one more secret I want to share with you real quick here to really give it this meat look. Just poke some holes in this, poke some holes in it like that, and then we're going to sprinkle pure Vital wheat gluten flour right on the top. And yes, Vital wheat gluten flour is very good for you. If you're a celiac, you're not going to want this, but anybody else, you'll be fine. And here's the trick. We're going to add just a blazing of water right across the top here, like that, okay? And then try to close these up a little bit, these holes. You don't want to do much blending right now. You want to keep it stable. So, okay, just like that. Yes, I love having fun in the kitchen. And here we go. This is going to go in the oven for 1 hour at 350 degrees. Then after an hour, I'm going to take the top off for another half hour and give it a little crispiness on the outside. So here we go, and we will see you in an hour and a half. All right, these steak bakes are coming out of the oven, and woohoo, do they look good. Look how they puffed up a little bit on me. Now it really does look like a filet mignon. But wait till you see the inside of these babies. This is gonna blow you away. And I'm gonna give it a little scraping underneath here, kind of loosen it up a little bit. Yes, hot pans, hot food. Don't try this at home. Okay. Okay, here we go. Woo! I'm gonna flip that over. Now, there we go. You'll see this baby as it steams away. We got a lot of different color in there. And so here's a couple things you can do. Remember, I had the foil on it for the first hour. Then for a half hour, I kept it in there, but I took the foil off. So now you've got a little bit firmer top on it. It's kind of like a crispiness. When you cook like a filet mignon in the stove, in the oven, that's what happens. And and we're gonna cut this up. And by all means, you should let this rest a little bit as well. But you can do great big slivers like this. And you can see where you're getting whites, darks, you're getting different colors of the meat. And it actually looks just like gristle in there. It looks like a fat gristle. That's why you do those little pockets. So here's another thing you can do. Instead of doing the thinner slices like that, we can pull these over and just give these babies a slice like this. Any size you want, of course. And just like that, you've got cubes. Now these cubes are going to be very, very successful for you to make beef stew. Beef tips with noodles. I've done this, that's my main thing I use this for, is beef tips with noodles. And you put your gravy in for your beef tips, that type of thing, and you are good to go. Now, of course, another thing you can do is take these babies and slice them lengthwise, like this. Give them a little length slice. And I would definitely let these cool down. But we're, for time's sake here, we're showing you the hot way to do this. Caliente. But now we have fajitas. So you can use that for fajitas. So look at all the different applications that you can do with this one product. And let me tell you, this is a go-to recipe. You can refrigerate and freeze this and use it as a later date. And whew. Taste panel. absolutely fabulous. That's the way you do it. It's a steak bake. You can use it as a steak meat. You can use it as a fajita. And my favorite is to use it as beef stew or beef tips with noodles, things like that. There you go. You are going to love this recipe. Share it with your friends, and we will see you next time in the kitchen.
Well, we're back, and I'm still trying to figure out what Mark said the last time. I'm sorry. Anyway.
What I'm saying is you quit eating the animal products. I mean, not only are you going to help yourself and your life, you're going to help this entire planet as a whole. I mean, come on. You know, if you just look at simple numbers and simple facts, you know, what we're doing is not just killing us as individuals, it's killing our future generations of children in more ways than we could ever imagine.
Oh, you know, whenever I first became whole plant-based, you know, I got to thinking one day, it was just logic thinking. I keep telling people, think logically. I was sitting there on my couch and I had my laptop, I was studying, I was looking up statistics, I was looking up all this information on meat, dairy, whole plant-based. And it dawned on me, which are the largest land mammals that we have on this planet?
Land mammals? Well, it'd be the elephant and
cows.
Yeah, hippopotamuses.
Right. And I thought, what do they eat?
Yeah, where do they get their protein?
Yeah. And yet, you know, the foods, the grasses, they're herbivores. The grasses and the berries and the leaves that these animals are eating evidently supply enough protein for us as humans to eat them. And I'm thinking, well, if the cow can get its protein from the plants, why can't I get the protein from the plants?
Right.
Why do I have to eat vicariously through that animal to get my protein? You know, this is so interesting. We've been fed a line of
exactly, exactly.
I thought,
and
wow,
we've been indoctrinated and born into this upside down world. And
and I've got friends who are doctors, and if I'm in a seminar and there's a doctor there, I ask the same question every time, Mark. Have you ever had a patient, or do you know of anybody in this country that has ever died from a lack of protein?
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah,
no,
it's not going to happen.
So you know what? I say eat your plants, and I say eat your whole grains, your food, and eat those grains,
starches
Mark.
and carbs.
We need our starches, which are our complex carbohydrates. You know, eat those. We eat a lot of them.
Yeah, yep.
And lose weight.
Yeah,
and
the healthiest cultures in the country eat the most starches, and and they eat the least amount of animal products and the least amount of packaged goods. And I mean, if you're going to eat a packaged good, you might as well eat the package too, because mostly, you know, the plastic, it's, you know.
Well,
why not?
Margarine is one molecule short of plastic.
Exactly. So.
Well, hey, it's been fun here on the set with us again. We want you to go out there on your computer and look us up online. Go to our websites. Send us over an email. Call us if you need to, if you have any questions or concerns. And we always accept your donations to help keep this ministry going. And we don't do it for us. We do it for you, for your families, and for those people out there who really need us.
Amen.
And you know what, Mark? This is a conclusion.
We're done.
Of another Healthy Living here with Mark and Melody. And we'll see you again next time.
Bye-bye.